From KC. Hello? From KC. Are we here? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
there we go.
No, I'm KC.
And we are Faithletic The
Faithletic The
Podcast. Oh, my gosh.
Hey, that's right. That's right.
That
You figured it out on the fly there.
I guess. I mean, I was like, what? It would help if because I heard you perfectly. It's like, well, I hear you. Why can't you hear me? Well, it's because I didn't have a mic on. I thought I had it on, but I didn't have it on.
Hey, that'll do it.
I thought I turned it on a minute ago because I've started it, turned the mic on and turned the sound down, and I guess for some reason I turned it off again. So had the sound up. But anyway, we're here after we only took a 2-week hiatus this time.
Oh yeah.
Instead of 5 weeks before. So yeah, but we are here live and in color. And in case you're wondering, Faithletic The Podcast, and usually we don't do this at the first of the show, but I feel inclined because it's my show, our show.
Yes.
So it's kind of in the name, Faith and Athletic, and we talk sports a good portion of the time, but we also talk faith. And we may spend 55 minutes talking about sports, but the final 5 minutes are talking about faith. And we always end our show with words of encouragement from the good news. And that's who we are. We're good news people, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah,
we try, so anyway.
Well, congratulations is in order. Your Kansas City Chiefs are in the AFC Championship game for the 92nd year in a row. Congratulations.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. You don't have to. I know your real feelings about us.
I would rather have. Look, I don't really care the villainous attitude they're taking on, but I do like Andy Reid, and I would much rather see the Chiefs as about a good portion of the AFC teams. I certainly didn't want the Ravens in. Thank you, Buffalo Bills.
Yep, sure.
You may have wanted to play play the Ravens, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it matters.
I don't think I wanted to play the Ravens.
Yeah.
I thought they were kind of the tougher team, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm very happy with the way that things went, obviously.
Should be.
As I should be. But, yeah, I understand why people might feel the way that they feel right now about us.
Well,
I don't blame them.
They're acting like villains.
I don't know. Okay, so let's get into this.
Part of it is because it looks like they're getting some favoritism. That's part of it, but
sure.
And it does look like it. Now, maybe not compared to the rest of the league. Let's put it that way. I mean, I saw quarterbacks just get beat to oblivion that weren't in Chiefs games, but in other games. Like Jared Goff got his head ripped off.
Yeah.
And then who was the other quarterback that got dotted? I don't remember, but they just, I mean, and maybe that little when he takes look, and you may feel differently, but when a quarterback takes off past the line of scrimmage like he's going to try to get a first down, he's susceptible to get hit. I'm sorry. And if he slides late, that's him. That's on him.
Sure.
And the referee should not protect him that way. Look, if they do an intentional head-to-head, that's a different deal. But there wasn't any intentional about that play. And it didn't even hit him. They hit each other.
Sure. I mean, I absolutely get what people are, saying.
Why they're upset.
Why they're upset.
Yeah.
I get it. And in fact, I'll be honest with you. As soon as he did kind of, do his little thing there.
Yeah.
Where he dove the little LeBron flop.
Yeah.
I immediately knew.
Yeah,
that,
of course.
We became villains.
Yeah.
And I understand that, and I will accept that role.
Yeah, sure you will, because you're winning.
And I think Nick Wright, who's on Fox Sports, is a Chiefs fan. He's from Kansas City. And he kind of put it best. It's like, yeah, they are villains in a way because they're getting these calls, but they've also beat everybody's team.
Well, sure.
Like in the AFC, like if you look at their, like they beat their best teams at every turn. Like you name it in the AFC, they've kicked them out of the playoffs. Like it's not just one team over and over. They beat this best Dolphins team that was assembled last year.
Sure.
They beat the best Ravens team that was assembled a year ago.
Thank you.
They've beaten the Bills. They've beaten the Bengals. Like, you know, it's really interesting when you think about that. It's like that's why I didn't like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Especially at the end of his career, is because he was beating those young Chiefs up, and so I don't know. I kind of see one. We are getting calls. I'll say this. I think we're getting calls that are. We're not getting penalized. Like we're less penalized than I think 25 other teams, but they are calls at critical moments.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what is the tough part. Like I can't tell you that it's not a critical moment.
Sure.
Like this is happening. I understand.
It's been going on for 3 years now.
Yeah.
I mean,
sure. Well,
it has because 2 years ago when they made it to I don't remember if it was the AFC Championship game or it was a divisional round, but I mean, there was some favorite calls that set them up to win that game. I don't remember which game it was. I don't remember who they were playing. Maybe the Ravens. I don't remember. But maybe the Bengals. I don't remember who it was, but I do remember he was, heading out of bounds, and he wasn't clearly out of bounds, and somebody tagged him. And did not hit him too hard, but they called it
that was the Bengals game.
Yeah.
And it was the right call. That was stupid on them.
I don't know if I agree.
They pushed him well out of bounds.
Yeah.
Like that one.
I don't know.
You go back at it, and everybody else. That one, yes. Like, I get the first. Yeah, I understand that, but that one was for sure. But yeah, they get critical calls at the right time. There's no doubt about it.
I think I said it on our text thread with the one and only Gunslinger. It's like they're the Cowboys in reverse because Cowboys get the calls against them in the critical moments, and the Chiefs get the calls in the critical moments. So, of course, Dallas has been getting them for 29 years. So,
sure,
or not getting them, what do you want to call it? Let's go there. Let's go down that train for a second. I don't. I mean, I'm even more. I mean, I know what I said last week. Like, I just want to see movement, but I'm not liking what I'm seeing. So I don't know what to think. I talked to my sister today, and she lives in Dallas, and she hears this stuff 24/7. And she says fans are about to have an uprising. I mean,
yeah, I would.
You're the only two choices that you can figure out are Brian Schottenheimer and Kellen Moore. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's a real bad look.
Both of them are. I mean,
Yes.
I mean, come on. I mean,
real bad look.
Do you, Jerry? Look, I mean, it shouldn't surprise you because for better part of the last 25 or 30 years, he has thought he has one up on observing talent.
Yeah.
I don't need Troy Aikman or Tony Romo. I got Chad Henson in the barn. I got Emmitt Smith, who's 62 years old, in the barn. I can throw anybody out there and I can coach it, And it's like, and I think you remember me talking about this earlier in the season, or maybe even last year, when was watching the Hard Knocks and watching these behind-the-scenes stuff with the coaches, and they're talking about how great these players are that are on the taxi squad, and they couldn't hold you and I's shoes. I mean, they're awful. And they're going to replace these guys that are going for free agency, and it's just like, you guys can't evaluate talent. And I've said it multiple times. Everybody can figure out. Everybody knows who the 10 best players in college football are. Everybody knows. It's not. I mean, all you got to do is look at a report, right? So it's not like you can't figure that out. After that, what do? And that's why guys like the Chiefs and the Steelers and the Patriots for so many years were able to develop players because they could evaluate talent that didn't necessarily have to be in the first round, but they found those people. Jerry thinks he's got some sort of formula that figures that out when you draft them in the 7th round.
Right.
I don't need a first-round draft pick. I pick the guy in the 7th round do the same thing.
Well, the thing that he does in the 7th round lately is like, I'm going to pick Deuce Vaughn, which, that's a really cool story.
Yeah, but he hasn't done anything.
He's not going to do anything for your team.
You got a guy that, the guy you pick, the reason you picked him is obviously because you had his dad on staff, and that had a lot to do with it. But you got a guy on your team right now that's probably one of the fastest guys in the NFL, and you still don't know how to use him. Devontae Turpin.
No kidding.
He's a star, but you can't figure out how to use him. And when you do, you can't get the ball to him because your quarterback can't read it or your offensive coordinator can't call the right play. Look, the guy's a star. And look, he ain't very big and he's not that physical, but he can make plays. And you can't get the ball in his hands. Nobody's creative enough. And the one guy I really thought that could figure that out was Ben Johnson, and they let him get away. And look, he was never going to hire Ben Johnson because Ben Johnson probably wouldn't have come anyway. But he never even tried.
Sure.
Dan Campbell probably told Ben Johnson what a buffoon Jerry was, and he was out of that.
I don't know. The Bears, too, kind of look like their coaching search was destined to do the same thing.
Yeah, but they hired Ben
people
Johnson.
Were upset by that.
Yeah.
But they
made the right
out
hire.
with Jimmy in.
Yeah.
So
they made the right hire.
Yeah. I think they did.
They did.
Feels weird, for sure.
I think I think they did. Now, look, he may turn out to be a bust, Ben Johnson, but I don't think so. I could be wrong. At this point, I kind of just said, just hire Dion and get it over with. I don't. Really, think about it. I'd take him. The only other person I'd probably hire, which doesn't make any sense, is Jason Witten. That's the only, because I'd rather have him than Schottenheimer or Kellen Moore.
Yeah, sure.
Kellen Moore is all he is Jason Garrett 2.0. That's all he is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Schottenheimer's the same. Schottenheimer couldn't coach his way out of a paper bag. He was fired after 3 games, wasn't he? As a head coach?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know, and I don't get it.
I don't either.
I wish I could tell you.
I don't. I'm so
what your boy's thinking. But
I thought we'd have a little bit more sense. I'm going to hold out. I'm going to hold judgment yet, but I'm getting pretty irritated.
Yeah, I would be too, and I think you have. I think that, and I think we've talked about this lately, is that I think all of your anger against the Cowboys is justified.
I thank you. Thank you.
It's not even a question to me.
Yeah, I just got to get over it and move on. But it's kind of like I heard somebody the other day talking. I don't even remember what team he was a fan of, and he says, "Well, I grew up as a fan. It wasn't Cowboys; it was somebody else. I grew up as a fan. I'm always going to be a fan." He said, "I can choose not to watch them, and I can still be a fan. Still want them to win, but I don't have to put myself through the anguish." And I thought, that's what I feel like. I don't want to put myself through it.
I get that at this stage in life, and just
don't you think I've been a little bit more peaceful this year than I have in the past?
Yeah, you have been, and I think that you're right. There's something to be said about that. Just in general, is don't waste you cut toxic people out of your life. If it's a toxic organization,
just get rid of it.
Just get rid of it.
Yeah.
Truthfully, that's how I feel about the White Sox. Like,
Yeah.
there were years that I would never miss a game of the Chicago White Sox, like growing up.
Yeah.
And their toxic relationship with the city and saying that they're going to move and then losing the second most amount of games in league history. I'm done. Like, you won't catch me watching them anymore. Like, it's not worth my time. So, and that's not being fair weather. It's just like, this is just the way that, like, you treat your fan base. You're not going to listen. You're not going to do any due diligence.
Yeah.
That doesn't make me want to watch me if you're your team, if you're going to do that, if you're not going to do the right thing. And I think the problem is, it's like, remember in Moneyball where, like, I think the great thing that he says there is, like, if you're not doing this in 5 years, you're dinosaurs.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what's happening.
That was the Red Sox owner telling him, if you're not doing this in the next 5 years, you're a dinosaur. Yeah.
Yep.
The Red Sox owner was telling him that when he was interviewing him. Absolutely.
Which then came Theo Epstein.
Yeah.
Like, he was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to think at this point. I mean, I can't stand the coach of the Jets. What's his name? The one they've interviewed him or thinking about?
Sirianni.
No,
not Sirianni.
Not Sirianni. Is it?
Gosh,
Robert.
What is his name? Saleh. Robert Saleh.
Saleh. Yeah. So I'd take him over Moore and Schottenheimer.
I would too. I think Saleh was put in a pretty
bad spot,
pitiful situation, and did okay with it. Like,
I think if they'd left, if they'd gotten a quarterback that wasn't such a whiny butt like Aaron Rodgers, they might have a shot.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you just couldn't deal with him because he was
that's
trying.
Just it. I think Sirianni's not a bad hire. He showed that. I mean, last year he went 7-9 or whatever with a very bad team.
Yeah, without Rodgers. So, and then Leslie Frazier, no. Come on. Don't want him either. I would take Aaron Glenn, though. I would. Is that who it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd take him.
Yeah.
I'd take him.
Yeah.
So, is he the same one that used to play for the Patriots?
Yes, that's the same one.
That's the one that Aaron Glenn is. Is she? But that he was a wide receiver, right, for the Patriots?
Yes.
That Pat Parcells used to call him she.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a press conference he had or something, and he was talking about he was injured or whatever. Well, she's getting therapy right now or something like that. You know how Parcells is. I thought it was the same guy.
Parcells.
Yeah, Parcells always. He is so fun. Parcells always had a way of delivering stuff to the media. He was always. I mean, he communicated through the media. He was a master at it. I'm gonna go dark for like 3 seconds. Go ahead and talk for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. So yeah, we'll talk about. I do think it will be interesting to see what the Cowboys do, for sure. I'm interested to see. I think Dion could come. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I'm back.
I'm sorry. I also had a dog that decided that they wanted to run outside real quick. So,
you're good.
Yeah.
My studio door was open, so I had to close the studio door.
Of course.
Were you talking about Dion?
Yeah. I don't know how that's gonna look.
I don't care how it looks. I mean, it can't look any worse than hiring Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know how you can do that.
I look at Dion is a name and I get it, but I kind of think he's a good football coach. I mean, he's old school. He had, you know, how many character issues he had on his team since he's been at Jackson State and at Colorado?
Like none.
None.
Yeah.
I mean, it tells you something about how he commands. Now, with kids and adults, might be a whole lot different story, but I don't know.
Sure, I think that's the only thing. Is he going to treat kids like kids, or going to treat these like professionals?
Yeah,
and do
maybe.
Or what in the world does that look like? So I don't know. I mean, he's entertaining.
Yeah.
He's going to get your ratings.
Well, that's what Jerry wants, right?
Jerry likes that.
He'd get best of both worlds. He might make him a good football team. And he's going to get the publicity out of it. So why wouldn't you hire him?
At this point, what do you have to lose?
Huh?
The only thing
nothing to lose.
Have for him, he's got to have the best coordinators around him.
Well, that's fine. Find him. But
yeah.
I guess the question I would ask is, you already make more money than any team in sports. You can afford him. Pay him. Get him there. Get the assistants. Pay him. Get him there.
You're not wrong. I think you're onto something there.
And think if he wins a couple of Super Bowls, how much more valuable your team will be.
Right.
I don't know. I'm going to stick by my original prophecy is that I'm never going to see him win another one. Not in my lifetime.
Well, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe yours, Kyle, not mine.
Shoot, I don't know about that, but if they keep going the same way, I don't think they will. But I can't get a read on, because it could be one of those things that maybe ownership goes a different way someday, and they are able to use their assets, and then they become relevant.
They're not
who
even
they are.
Relevant now.
Yeah, it's not going to happen until Jerry dies.
And look at this. Here's a couple of things you got to look at. We'll go down the lowest part of the totem pole. Do you see the Giants getting better? And I mean, do you see it in their future? Not right this minute, but do you see them getting better in the future? Okay, so not the Giants. Okay, do you see the Redskins getting worse?
Not right now.
Do you see the Eagles getting worse?
Maybe.
Right now. Sirianni's he's a ticking time bomb, so yes, but probably not right this minute. Not in the next 2 or 3 years, right?
No.
So you've got two other teams in your conference now. Previously, you only had to deal with one other team.
Right.
The Eagles have been pretty good for the last, 10 years, right?
Sure.
The Washington and the Giants have not. And it's been back between the Eagles, basically the Eagles and the Cowboys for the last 5 years anyway. No team has repeated back-to-back in NFC East in like 20 years.
Yeah, and now Washington is an issue, by the way.
They might win the whole daggum thing, Kyle.
They are insane.
I don't know if the Eagles can stop them.
If they play like they do, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
If they play like they did against Detroit, I don't see them stopping them.
You know what team they remind me of? Just a little different, though, obviously, but just kind of the vibes, was that year that the Arizona Cardinals
made it
to the Super Bowl.
The year they had Kurt Warner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like they kind of just peaked at the right. They're peaking at the right time, and they did peak earlier in the season. They got hurt. Dylan Daniels looked like he was hurt for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets healthy.
Yeah.
They are a team that is peaking at the right time. The Eagles didn't play overly great the other night. Like
they almost lost.
Yeah.
If that, I don't know if the weather made that much difference in that game, but it might have. Well, it probably would have because the Eagles are used to that weather and the Rams aren't. So it had to have an advantage for them.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. So, that being said, would it surprise me if the Redskins or the Redskins.
Oh,
the
you did it!
I did it, and I haven't done it yet. I've been really good about it.
We'll beep it out.
But yeah, it would not surprise me if they ended up in the
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. But then they'll get beat by the Chiefs if they make it. But
And
that's fine.
yeah, of course. I don't really know. I guess it's going to have to. I think this may be the first time in my entire life that I'm going to root for Washington.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, sure.
2 reasons. One is I hate, and look, I use that as a strong word. I dislike Sirianni. Well, let me put it this way. I dislike the Washington less than I dislike Sirianni, and I love Dan Quinn.
Sure.
So I think that I won't even watch the game, but I will probably be pulling for Washington. In fact,
Sure.
I know I will. But both of them make me sick because, well, you got Dan Quinn, which you could have had in Dallas, and you ran him out of town, basically.
Yeah.
And
which is a whole mess because, yeah.
I mean, he knows how to win football games. I'm sorry, his whole career is based off the comeback on Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. But that's
no kidding.
Dan Quinn is a heck of a football coach, and he's proven it again.
I was thinking about that the other day. Is it the only reason why he is not as well regarded that he usually is because of the Super Bowl, for sure.
Because of Tom Brady.
Yeah. It wasn't him. It was Tom Brady doing his thing. Doing Tom Brady things.
That and him and Belichick cheating halfway down the aisle, so I'm sure they did something there.
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, yeah, and then he would be only the second or third coach to ever take 2 teams to the Super Bowl. Maybe only the second team.
Andy Reid.
Huh?
Andy Reid did it, right? You're talking about. Wait,
no, Andy Reid never took the Eagles. Oh yeah, he did. So Andy Reid, Mike Holmgren.
Yeah.
Seattle and Green Bay. And I guess he'd be the third, Dan Quinn, because I can't think of another coach that took 2 different teams.
Pete Carroll?
No.
No.
Are you kidding me? He couldn't get out a paper bag with the Jets.
The Jets, yeah, sure.
So, no. I think that's it. I think that's you can look it up. Just go ahead and Google it up. But I think there's only two coaches that have ever done it. Never take 2 separate teams to.
Wait, wasn't nope, that was Dan Reeves. Never mind.
Yeah, he only took the Broncos like 4 times.
I was thinking, didn't Marv Levy coach for another team?
No, he didn't. Not as a head coach. He might have been an assistant.
Yeah.
Marv Levy.
Yeah, that's an interesting stat.
Yep, it is.
Did you know that every NFC team has made at least the NFC Championship game since 2005, except for the Dallas Cowboys? They're the last ones to not make the AFC Championship game. The NFC Championship game.
You're killing me.
Dude, it's a bad stat. It's a real bad stat.
Yeah, I know it. I've lived it.
It's a real bad stat.
I've lived it.
I was going to send that to you. I didn't want to hurt feelings.
Casey, you haven't been past the divisional round since 95.
It's insane.
Yeah, because they 90. Let's see, they lost. Let's see, 95, 90, 96. They won the first round wild card game. They got beat in the divisional round. I don't remember who beat. Oh, Carolina Panthers beat.
Let me look real quick.
They beat the Vikings on the wild card in 96, and then they lost to the Panthers. And then they didn't make the playoffs for a couple of years. The following year, I don't even think they made the playoffs. And then they fired Switzer the year after that. And then I think they might have made the playoffs with Chan Gailey the first year. They were 5-11 3 years with Mike Campo or Dave Campo, and then they made it again in Parcells' first year.
So here's the stat that my friend Robert, who's a Cowboys fan, posted. The AFC Championship has had either Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes in it for 14 years straight.
I heard that today.
The last time it didn't have one of those two players was 2010. Also, since 2010, the NFC Championship has had every NFC team make it to that point of the NFC Championship. Except one, the Dallas Cowboys. The last time they made it was 95.
It's true. Last time in the NFC Championship game. I'm telling you, they hadn't been past the divisional round since 96. Not the wild card round. They haven't made past the divisional round since 96. They've won that first round wild card game. And every time they've been in the divisional, they've only been the number one seed twice since then, and they've lost the opening game.
Yeah.
Because they were number one seed in Wade Phillips' first season in 2007, and they lost to the Giants at home. That was the year the Giants came and beat the undefeated Patriots, same year. And the other time they were the number one seed was Dak Prescott's rookie year, and they lost to the Packers.
Golly.
So if Romo had been quarterback in that team, they would have won a Super Bowl because they had everybody help. They had Elliott in his rookie season. They still had Dez, and they would have definitely won it that year, I think. And they had a decent defense. So anyway, we've been on 15 minutes of talking about how poor the Cowboys are, and I'm over it.
You know, it's so funny though. I was listening to something the other day. It's like they're still the most captivating. They're still,
of course,
like
always have been.
I mean, I find a genuine interest in them. Like now, probably because I'm closer in proximity. Like I've always kind of just like wonder what the Cowboys gonna do. It's just it's our version of the royal family.
I would say it's probably pretty accurate.
All right. Otherwise, why do we?
They're the most watched team in the history of the NFL, Kyle. I mean, there's 60% of them want them to win, and the other 40% want them to lose, and they'll watch 100%. Just for that. And all you got to do is go look at the ratings. Now, maybe not last year, but this year, but last year, year before that, they're most watched because they either want them to, it's kind of like everybody watching the Patriots and want them to lose. Everybody used to want to watch Notre Dame to lose.
Well, now it's the Chiefs. It was the most watched divisional game in history last week.
Of course.
Because people want to see them lose.
They want to see them. Well, some of them do. I think in this market, there's more that want them to win. There's more Chiefs fans.
In this area, yes.
Yeah,
but
it's pretty
right
heavy.
now, the rest of the country wants us to lose.
Yeah, probably.
I'm okay with it.
And look, I will probably. I don't know. I'm gonna be good either way. Whoever wins Sunday, truthfully, but I probably secretly want the Bills to, just because I said when the season started, I'd like to see somebody that never won it win it, and the Bills are the only one to have a shot. So.
I think it's very similar to this is really feeling like, to me, Peyton versus Tom.
Yeah, a little bit.
Now I think they might have been about the same age at that time, but 2006, when the Colts finally got over him, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills win.
How many years
because it's so hard to three-peat. Like,
what year is this for Mahomes?
This is his 7th year,
So 2006, 2007 would have been about Brady's 6th or 7th season. Peyton would have been a little older than that because he started in 98.
99, so, right? Yeah, 98. That's right.
So he would have been like his 8th year. So it's close. It's similar. And then what is 6 years for Josh?
Yeah, yeah.
6 years.
I don't know. It just has the same vibe to me.
Yeah. I would agree. I would agree. I don't think
mean,
there's a rivalry as much.
Because Tom was, as far as stats go, like he was not
Kingpin.
quite as good as Brady was.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, I'll take it back. Peyton had better stats than Brady.
Yeah.
And at times more fun to watch. Actually, a lot of the time, I love watching Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Right now, Josh Allen's probably more fun to watch. So I understand this.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if I did say one's more fun to watch than the other. It's good. It's a good feedback, though. Good analogy.
Yeah.
All right. Any thoughts on the national championship college football first year in the 12-team playoffs? What'd you think overall?
Overall, I had not a lot of notes. I mean, it's our first iteration of it, and I think the best game was Arizona State and Texas.
Yeah, I agree.
And that was a game that largely people didn't want because it was, they didn't want to see Arizona State seated where they were at.
No.
So,
they didn't want them to get past Texas
by
either.
A long shot to me.
They didn't want them to get past Texas either, based off of some of the calls that were made. So, as my mom would say, Arizona State got rookie dude.
Rookie dude.
Rookie dude. I thought the Notre Dame Penn State game was really, really good. I maybe because I didn't have a dog in the hunt.
Sure.
And with Texas, I'm like, I want to see them lose. So it probably it's kind of like I want to see Washington lose and I want to see the Eagles lose.
Yeah.
It was kind of similar, and I really enjoyed that Penn State Notre Dame game. I thought it was one.
That was a good one. It was for sure.
But I agree with you. The Texas Arizona State game probably more thrilling, but I enjoyed, I think, more of the other.
Well, I am one of the biggest Cam Scattaboo fans out there. So
yeah, he's good. He's really good.
I would love that guy.
And the kid from Boise too, Genetti.
Yeah, Ashton Genty. Yeah,
Genty. Yeah. Both of those are absolute stud muffins. I mean,
oh my gosh, yeah. They're just fun to watch and
tough.
I'm but you'll see both those guys on Sunday.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That'll be fun. But it was fun to showcase them. I thought because it's gonna sound silly, but I loved playing with them in the college football game this year. So. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like those guys.
Yeah, they're good. Yep. Yeah, they definitely. There were some teams I don't know if belonged in that 12 team, and you're going to see a lot different. You're going to see different teams winning it based off of streaks, kind of like you say, peaking at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Ohio State was definitely playing the best football. You could see when they played Tennessee, they were the best team in the country at that time.
Well, they ought to be. They spent $20 million on their roster.
Yeah. And you could tell. And look, we were talking. Somebody, I don't remember who I was talking to about this on Tuesday morning, but you almost could see that Notre Dame took everything they had to get that first touchdown. I mean, they were it's like 18 plays. You could tell, like, before Ohio State ever touched the football, I go, they're not going to be able to keep up this pace. They cannot. I mean, the quarterback's already puking on the sidelines. I mean, you're in trouble.
It's wild.
You're in trouble. I mean, I don't care what you say. That guy is physically, and he was a warrior. I mean, he was a flipping warrior. And I love, what's his name, the quarterback? Is it Jensen?
No. What is his name? I can't remember.
Anyway, he's just about as tough as they come. I mean,
yeah.
But you just kind of, and then after they went down, scored in like 11 plays instead of 18, and they really didn't have to struggle too much. You thought, uh-oh. And then Notre Dame comes out in their second series, and they can't, I mean, they just look terrible. It's like terrible.
Yeah.
This might, I mean, you could just tell really that first drive just took everything out of them.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah, it's tough to it's tough to come from, to come back from that. Like that first drive was longer than any Army drive this year, which says a lot.
What was it, like 11 or 12 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That first drive was longer than any Army drive this year.
Yeah. Well, look, I have a newfound respect for Notre Dame and for Marcus Freeman. I really like him based off what I've seen.
I love that dude.
Yeah.
Which is why I wanted them would especially more because, like, I thoroughly enjoyed him.
Yeah.
And I think, hopefully that's one of those things that he gets a lot more attention and he gets more recruiting out of it. That
he will.
They saw that he was such a stand-up dude.
Yeah. I think they're gonna. He could not hurt recruiting based off of his interviews and the way he talks to people. I mean,
he carried it himself
very well. I mean, and I thought I didn't watch any after the game. I saw some of the snippets of the interviews on Instagram, and I thought they all handled themselves pretty well. Both schools did.
Yeah.
Both their quarterbacks were very admirable and spoke highly of their faith, and that's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yep.
For sure.
So, too early to tell who's the top teams in the country next year. Can't really do it without portal. Knowing what's going on in the NIL.
I can't really tell because, I don't know. Ohio State's going to have a lot of those guys come back. I think Jeremiah Smith is a freshman, little Megatron there. Like, they'll find some other recruits. Michigan recruited really well this year. It's tough to say, but
let's just, for kicks and giggles, pull up our final 12 from last year, or from this year, and see how close we were. I have the notes right here.
I know I had Miami.
Yeah, you had them in the... Okay, so let's close. Oh, here we go. Okay. So your top 12, your top 4 was Georgia, Utah, Ohio State, and Miami. So you got 2 of them. Oh, Georgia.
Okay.
No, Georgia. Yeah, Georgia was top 4. So you had 2 of the... No, you had 1 because Ohio State wasn't in top 4.
No.
So you had 1. I had Georgia, Utah, Ohio State, and Clemson. Clemson was in the top 4, correct? Because they won the ACC?
Yes.
So I got 2, you got 1. So Utah didn't even make it in. Miami didn't make it in. And so I had 3 teams make it in the top 4. You had 2. You had Georgia. And
Did we formulate a top 12?
We did. And then
we did?
You did. So we did 5 through 12. We did 1 through 4, and then we did 5 for 12. Okay, you're 5 through 12. Mississippi, Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Penn State, Oregon, and Boise. So you got Texas, Notre Dame, Penn State, Oregon, and Boise. So you had the 12. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You had 7 out of 12.
Hey, you know what? That's not bad.
It's pretty good. And
That's not bad.
And then I had 1, 2, 3, 4. So, let's go. LSU. I had LSU, Texas, Alabama, Notre Dame, Penn State, Ohio State, USC, and Liberty. That was great. What the heck was that?
I mean, but that at the beginning of the year, that was not a bad pick.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I had 8 out of 12, so I beat you by 1.
All right.
And then I don't know if we went any further than that. If we did, I didn't write down. I don't know who we had in the championship games. But that's how we had it stacked up. I think we had a consensus. I think we did the top 4 teams as Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, and Texas. I don't know if that's the 4. Oh, that's the ones we picked to make it into the Final Four.
Okay.
Together, I guess. Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, and Texas. I have those 4 teams.
We didn't. I'm pretty proud of us.
Yeah, it was pretty good. 8 out of 12, 8 out of 12, and 7 out of 12. That's pretty good. It's not bad.
I would say so.
So, anyway, interesting. Yeah. So.
Interesting fact.
Interesting fact. Cliff Clavin.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? By the way, this still has to do with football.
Yeah.
But taking us a little bit off topic.
Uh-huh.
Movie that I watched for the first time yesterday and absolutely loved. Jerry Maguire.
Are you kidding me? You've never seen Jerry Maguire?
Never watched it before.
Oh, come on, man. You're killing me. You're killing me.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's good, huh?
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm on this quest to watch movies that I haven't really watched.
I can't believe you hadn't never seen Jerry Maguire. That's like 22 years ago. You know that, right?
And loved every second of that movie.
No, it was 96. So what is that? It's almost 30 years ago, Bubby.
Yeah. Yep. Holds up really well.
It does.
By the way.
There's a lot of good lines in it. A lot of good lines.
Except their concussion protocol.
Yeah, because he came right up.
Yeah.
Well, that was 30 years ago. They didn't have a concussion protocol.
Well, they start clapping in his face to wake him up.
Yeah. Wake up.
Wake up.
Come on, wait. Slap their hands. He wakes up.
Yeah.
Just so you know, Dallas actually won that game.
Oh, did they really?
Well, not on the Jerry Maguire, but
yeah.
That was the final I think it was the final regular season game in '95, the year the Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
Sure.
And they beat them like 35-10 or something. It was, but they filmed some of that stuff at that game. But I mean, it made it look like
that's funny.
Cardinals win it, but for the show, right? But yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, loved it.
You still haven't seen Draft Day, correct?
No, I do want to watch that movie.
Draft Day's a good one. Not as funny, but really good.
I put about 80 movies on a spreadsheet this week, so.
I can't believe you haven't seen Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, there's a lot that it would surprise you that I haven't seen because, I mean, probably up until, 2 years ago. Well, I don't know. Even so, there's just a lot of times where I think maybe I'd go see 2 or 3 movies a year and then watch 3 or 4 at home.
Yeah.
And now I just love it. There's just nothing on TV anymore as far as good television goes.
I've changed your life, haven't I?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, there's just not really good TV. It's not.
It's
very limited.
It's to me, it's almost like therapeutic.
It has been for me as well.
Yeah.
And I've watched some really good ones and some really artsy stuff and but there's times where I just you know what, I want to watch Speed again.
Yeah.
But there are also days I want to think. I went to the Brutalist this weekend and sat through that 4 hours and was like,
I'm not doing
gosh, nah, you don't. It's not for everybody.
I'm not doing it.
It's not for everybody. I liked it. Didn't love it, but I liked it a lot. It was good as a history teacher. I'm glad I saw it. But
there is some. I saw Caleb, our good friend of the show, Caleb Kinney, a couple of weeks ago, and he said, "Man, we gotta go with movies, man. It's coming out." And so I sent him a text. I said, "What's coming out?" I hadn't even looked to see what some of the stuff that was coming out, and I sent him a list. Hold on a minute. Of stuff that I thought we'd put on our watch list for this year. Okay, Flight Risk, which comes out this week. I don't know if that'd be any good or not, but it looks good.
Sure.
Captain America.
Yeah.
I put The Amateur down. I don't even know what that is, but I must have looked at it. I don't know what it is, but I had it. I must have reviewed it somewhere. The Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, or Final
Dead
Reckoning.
Yeah.
The Last Battleship. Have you ever seen Battleship?
No.
So there's a sequel to it called Last Battleship, and the first one was pretty dang good.
All
It has
right.
Liam Neeson in it, and it's pretty good. And then The Accountant 2. Have you seen the original Accountant with Ben Affleck? It's good, really good. So those are just to name a few. In fact, that's what I told Caleb. Just to name a few.
That I like that. It looks a little funky, but I think it looks good. Is that Mickey 17?
I didn't even review that one.
Yeah, it's my one of my favorite directors. And that one I'm looking forward to. I haven't really looked at the list for the whole year. But
Yeah, I think I looked up until May or June, something like that. I didn't look at the whole year. But it seemed like there's next Thanksgiving or Christmas, there's a sequel or something coming out that looks really good. And I can't remember what it is right now.
Wicked 2?
Part 2? No. Is there a Wicked 2?
Oh, yeah. That was just part 1.
Yeah.
They filmed the whole thing already. They're just waiting for the whole... It would have been a 4-hour experience, too.
I want another Dune.
You want another what?
Dune.
I do too.
Yeah, that second one.
To me, now I saw some other movies that I really liked this year. I don't know. The only reason why that wouldn't win an Oscar is because it's a part 2, and it won't even sniff it this year.
Perhaps, but we talked about that. There are a few
good.
part 2s that have won Oscars.
Yeah.
We've talked about that. Yeah, Godfather's one of them. There's another one, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, Godfather 2 won it. But anyway. All right. We don't really have any games to go this week, and I will be probably... Well, I might be able to make next week. It just depends. But we definitely need to pick the AFC Championship. Oh, wait. No, we need to do this week's games.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have them? Can you pull them up?
I can pull them up. I'll pull them up. Yep. Give me a second.
Then next week we'll have a break. I keep thinking we got the games this week.
We got games this week. Next week we don't.
Let's do that, and then Debo, and we'll be done for the day. We're kind of...
That's all right. Let me see here. Action.
At KC.
So we got
Washington at Philly.
That game was 1.5 as a couple of days ago. Let's see if it moved.
Oh, by the way, so while you're looking, last week you were 5-11. I was 8-8.
Jesus.
And during the playoffs, since we rebooted because you were kicking my butt. Overall, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. That was 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Last week we were both 4-5.
Okay.
And overall, you're 9-16, and I'm 12-13. Overall.
Okay. All right.
So.
And we have the Super Bowl, which we have a bunch of prop.
Yeah, we'll have a bunch of prop bets coming up with it. So what do we got on this week? So we'll have really only have 4 picks.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We got we can do the Washington and Philadelphia first.
Okay.
And that game is we have Philadelphia set at winning by 6 right now.
So they're -6.
We're -6.
Okay, and over-under?
And the over-under is 47.5.
Okay, and then the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, that is set at 1.5.
Wow.
At 47.5 as well.
Chiefs the favorite?
The Chiefs are the favorite, yes.
Surprise. And what is it, 45?
47.5.
Oh, wow.
Both are, yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I will go. I'll let you do Washington, Philly first.
Okay. I think we are destined for a rematch of the Super Bowl 2 years ago, as much as I think Washington can win. I think Philadelphia is going to win, and I think it will be over because I think Jalen Daniels is still going to ball out. So
you're taking over, and
we'll
you're
see.
taking Philly minus the 6?
Yes.
Philly minus the 6. Okay. I will agree with you on the over. I'm going to take Washington plus the 6.
Okay.
All right, and I'll go first on Buffalo. Buffalo at KC. I'm halfway inclined to agree with you. I already know you're going to pick the Chiefs. I don't even have to ask. Probably over under. I might be a little bit not suspect on what you're going to go. Yeah, I think I'll go with the over, and I will take KC minus the 1.5.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm destined for a rematch. So I'm gonna go Chiefs minus 1.5 and the under.
All right, so there's a little difference there. Okay, well, we'll find out, I guess. Find out if you're right. I mean, I agree with you. I think the Chiefs are going to win the game. They won't upset me if the Bills do. And I will be watching.
Yeah, sure.
All right. You said you had a Devo?
I do have a Devo. I actually asked my friend ChatGPT to use one. If you've ever messed around with that.
Okay. I have seen it, but I haven't used it. Let me set it up. Let me talk about it one more time, and then I'll cue you in. So, if you're joining us for the first time, and if you have just heard bits and pieces of our show, our name is Faithletic, and we are. It's kind of like it sounds. I mean, we have belief and hope in the good news in the Bible, and our hope is in Jesus. And what we want to do is leave encouragement to everyone who listens to our show. And somebody could be flipping around on Facebook or Twitch or YouTube, and they can say, "Hey, what's this all about?" Next thing you know, they hear some hope, and that's what we try to do. We're probably 55% or 90% sports and 10% of some encouragement. But at the end of the show, we always end it with a little bit of good news. So without further ado, introduce my good buddy Casey, and he will feature daily at the cross.
Yeah, so I actually asked my friend ChatGPT just for the heck of it, since we are football podcast, or not a football podcast, but sports podcast mixed with our faith, and we also like movies. So I asked ChatGPT to make me a devotional that surrounds Remember the Titans.
Oh.
One of our favorites.
Yes.
So this is called Unity and Diversity, Overcoming Division and Embracing God's all call to unity. In the scripture it says, how good and pleasant is when God's people live together in unity. And in Galatians 3:28 says, there is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free, nor is there male or female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. It says the movie Remember the Titans is a timeless story of overcoming prejudice and learning to embrace unity in the face of division. Set in the early 1970s, it follows the newly integrated T.C. Williams High School football team as players and coaches from different racial backgrounds are forced to come together. At first, hostility and mistrust run deep, both on the field and in their personal lives. But over time, the team learns that their differences don't have to divide them. Instead, they begin to see each other as brothers united by a common goal. Their journey mirrors the challenges we often face as Christians in a world filled with division, misunderstanding, and broken relationships. Whether it's differences in race, culture, opinions, or even theology, the call of God is the same: to live together in unity as one body in Christ. Unity is a recurring theme throughout Scripture. From the unity of the Trinity, Father, God, Son, and Holy Spirit, to God's design for the church, we see that God values unity as a reflection of his love. However, unity doesn't come easily. Just as the Titans had to confront their biases, pain, and fear, we too often challenge to lay down our pride, prejudices, and assumptions to live as one in Christ. And remember, the Titans' one pivotal moment happens at the team's trip to Gettysburg. Coach Boone leads the players to the site of a bloody Civil War battle, reminding them of the cost of division and hatred. He says, "This is where they fought the Battle of Gettysburg. 50,000 men died right there on this field, fighting the same fight that we are still fighting amongst ourselves today." This sobering reminder shifts the player's perspective, helping them realize the importance of reconciliation and the cost of division. As Christians, our Gettysburg is the cross. At the cross, Jesus broke down the walls of hostility that divided us from God and from each other. His sacrifice unites us, not by erasing our differences, but by giving us a new identity as children of God. When we fix our eyes on Jesus and what he's done for us, it becomes clear that we are all called to love and value others, no matter how different they may be. And I really just like that, because there's a whole lot of division right now with what's going on politically in the world. Not that we're going to talk about it at all, but it was just a good reminder is that to love everybody. And so
good stuff.
Thought it was a good reminder, and
very good.
I wish I had a Denzel impression, but I don't.
I can't do Denzel.
Uh-oh.
I might if I listen to him enough, but I don't. What was I watching
I can see him saying those words, though.
Yeah, you could definitely see. What was I watching his show? Out of Time. You ever seen that?
No, never seen it.
Ooh. It's a good one.
Add it to the list?
Add to the list. Out of Time. It's got him and Eva Mendes in it.
Ooh, okay.
Yep. He's a police chief. Pretty good. A lot of suspense. A lot of whodunits and turns and twists and plot twists and all that good stuff. It's a good movie.
All right.
Yep. All right. Well, I guess we'll call it good. Let's not do next week. It's just too much of a stress for me because I have a meeting and I don't have a meeting next week. We could do next week.
Okay.
It's the week after I may struggle to do. But let's shoot for next Wednesday. And
so we'll have to do our Super Bowl picks next week.
Yeah, we'll have to. Maybe we do a preview show, and then we could also wait the last minute. We could go ahead and do our picks, but if we want to change them, we got another week to do so.
All right.
But I won't be able to do the following week. So, okay. Well, we have. Thanks for everybody joining us. We have had fun, and we want to see you another week. If you're listening to us for the first time, our most recent shows are here on YouTube, as you may be watching us now. You can see older episodes of Faithletic, which would be on Facebook or Twitch. There's probably 100-some episodes between the two, and there's probably close to 100 here. I mean, I never counted up how many we do. We got to be getting close to 200 shows. Got to be. Our good friend of the show, DLC, David Larry Carroll, sent me a message today. He's doing his 200th show this week on the Midnight Metal Monastery. 200
wow.
shows.
Awesome.
Yeah. Good job, Dave. We appreciate you. All right. I'm DB, and I'm with
KC.
And we are
Faithletic
The Podcast. We did it. All right. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us.